So, are you ready to turn Fredericksburg's charm into cash flow? In today's video, we are diving deep into short-term rental investing right here in Fredericksburg, Texas. Ryan Rendon Realty Group, your favorite realtor right here in the Texas Hill Country. That's right, if you've had thoughts of investing in a short-term rental right here in Fredericksburg, Texas, today's video is the day for you because we are diving deep into my guide for investing in short-term rentals right here in the Texas wine country. Okay, so number one, let's discuss why Fredericksburg. Well, there are many reasons, but it's deeply rooted in the blend of rich German heritage with that modern Texas flair. We have yearly festivals like our famous Oktoberfest, monthly art walks, and of course a prominent wine scene that ensures a steady influx of visitors every single weekend. In fact, with over 50 wineries and tasting rooms, Fredericksburg has rightfully earned its title as wine capital of Texas. You know, these vineyards are not just places to taste wine. They offer events like live music and experiences drawing wine enthusiasts from all over the US. Plus, here's a big one, our central location between cities like San Antonio and Austin make it a super easy weekend getaway for all those folks who live in the major cities. Okay, so number two on the list today is your ROI potential, your return on investment. So an average short-term rental here in Fredericksburg can yield significant ROI, especially if it's properly maintained and managed the right way. So our town's increasing tourist numbers, and then of course all the bachelorette parties and the trend toward choosing STRs, B&Bs over hotels create a lucrative environment. And again, all of our local events like the Oktoberfest, the wineries, Main Street shopping further drive accommodation needs. So that allows for premium pricing. And when comparing it against the traditional long-term rentals, the short-term rentals here in Fredericksburg tend to yield a higher monthly income, even when you factor in the costs associated with that rental. And then given the current market trends favoring isolated stays and then varied property options catering to different traveler demographics, Fredericksburg presents a prime opportunity for investors in the short-term rental space. Okay, so this brings us to number three, which is the legal considerations. One of the first things you will want to do is make sure that the property is in the right zoning. And finally, the city of Fredericksburg made it super easy to look this up on the new and improved online city map. So basically what this means, you can't just buy a house anywhere in the city limits of Fredericksburg and start renting it out as a short-term rental. The city does have regulations and guidelines for these STRs. And also, you want to always make sure you have your license, and just remember, no wild parties. The city actually requires you to have quiet hour signs posted around the property just to remind your guests that, hey, you need to pipe it down after a certain time. I mean, come on, the guests can have a super awesome time, but they just can't get too crazy at 2 o'clock in the morning hooping and hollering. And if the property you're looking at is located outside of the city limits in the ETJ, you actually will not have to have a rental permit, but you still will have to pay for the hotel occupancy tax. And if you're selling your short-term rental, the buyer will have to transfer that permit within 10 days, preferably when the utilities are swapped over. And heads up, inspections from the city are done on Wednesdays only, so just keep that in mind. And don't forget, you have that hotel tax. So 7% is going to go back to the city of Fredericksburg, while 6% goes to the state, making it 13% per booking for your hotel tax. Okay, so this brings us to number four on the list, which is properly managing your STR. So here in the Texas Hill Country, Fredericksburg isn't just a tranquil retreat. It's a hotbed for short-term rentals. So with our town's rise as a must-visit tourist destination, there is a significant surge in competition amongst STR properties. It's really not just about having a space to rent out anymore. It's about how you stand out in the sea of options. And this is where that top-notch rental management becomes an ace card. So proper management ensures that the property isn't just clean and welcoming, but also memorable and worth revisiting. It means staying ahead with responsive communication, timely maintenance, and adding those personal touches that guests love. And in competitive markets like Fredericksburg, it can also mean leveraging local events and the trends to adjust pricing and promotions. So whether you're managing it yourself or working with one of our local management companies, remember, in Fredericksburg's bustling rental scene, it's the details and management that really make the difference. Number 5, we are talking about setting the right price for your short-term rental. So here's the catch with all this. Setting the right price can either make or break your rental game. It's really a delicate balance of understanding your market demand, your property's unique value, and the ever-changing rhythm of our town's events and seasons. If you price it too high, you risk vacancies, but if you price it too low, you're leaving money on the table. It's best to start off by researching comparable rental properties here in Fredericksburg. What are they charging? What amenities do they offer? You really need to factor in our local events like the Oktoberfest or our wine festivals or seasonal peaks, which can allow for a higher rate. Then you want to ensure your costs from maintenance to management to ensure your profitability. And just remember, dynamic pricing. Adjusting based on demand and local happenings can be your best friend, especially in competitive markets like here in Fredericksburg. It's not just about setting a price, it's about setting the right price and then being nimble enough to adjust as the market demands. Okay, so for number 6, we are talking about adding a local touch to your short-term rental. So what truly sets a short-term rental apart from all the others? It's not just the amenities, but its soul. When a guest chooses a rental, they're not just looking for a place to sleep, they're seeking an experience, a taste of Fredericksburg's rich heritage and charm. This is where your rental staging and decorating come into play. So going beyond just generic aesthetics and integrating a local touch can elevate your property from just another listing to a highly sought after destination. You may consider some of our locally sourced artwork really showcasing our deep German heritage, or maybe even a basket of our locally grown peaches sitting right there on the kitchen countertop. I think that decor inspired by the rustic beauty of the Texas Hill Country or nods to our renowned wineries can maybe resonate with guests, making them feel more connected to the local. And just remember, in bustling short-term rental markets like here in Fredericksburg, it's the aesthetic local touches that create memorable stays, turning first-time guests into repeat visitors. And it's also extremely important to get reviews from your guests, which brings us to number 7 on the list today. In today's digital age, a review isn't just feedback, it's the lifeblood for your rental. When potential guests browse properties in Fredericksburg, they're often greeted by a sea of options. So what makes them click on one over the other? Reviews. Glowing testimonials on platforms like Airbnb or Google reviews act as endorsements, ensuring potential guests of memorable stays. They offer credibility, they showcase your hospitality, and can even help improve your listing's ranking on these platforms. Feedback from these reviews also provide an invaluable insight on improvements, making sure you're meeting or exceeding your guest expectations. But remember, it's not just about quantity, it's really about quality reviews. One genuine, detailed review describing your property's unique charm or your intentiveness as a host can do wonders compared to 10 generic comments. So encourage your guests to share their experiences and let the world know what makes your rental truly special. And it's also extremely important to plan for your peak and off seasons, which is our 8th topic for today. So here in Fredericksburg, with our vibrant festivals and scenic beauty, we see waves of visitors. But like any sought after destination, it has its ebbs and flows. While peak seasons might see your rental booked back to back, off-peak periods can be quieter. But here's the thing, success for your STR is all about preparation. Planning for these slower times is not just essential, it's really strategic. You can use this time to refresh and renovate, ensuring your property remains at its prime. Another thing you could do is offer off-season promotions, targeting demographics like remote workers or artists seeking a tranquil retreat. It's also a really good idea to collaborate with local businesses. Maybe you can do a wine tour weekend or maybe even a spa week. One thing to remember is that off-season doesn't mean off radar. With innovative strategies and proactive planning, you can keep your occupancy rates healthy year-round, ensuring a consistent revenue stream and maintaining your property's reputation as a must-stay destination here in Fredericksburg. Okay, so what do you guys think? Are you ready to take your next step in investing in a short-term rental here in Fredericksburg? If you've had thoughts of buying or selling anywhere around the Texas Hill Country, I would love to be your realtor of choice. All my contact information is above, but also down in the description. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you watch this next video, which is the top 10 wineries here in Fredericksburg. We'll see you in the next video.